It is Wednesday, 28th of August in the United States, noon. Summer ups make me feel fine because this is What Chaos, presented by Prize Picks Daily Fantasy Sports made easy. Use promo code What Chaos for a first deposit match up to $100. I'm DJ Bean. That is Pete Blackburn. Sean DePaz is over there. And Sean Monahan will soon be joining us because we had a lovely conversation with him. That's going to be the meat of this episode, but we got a bunch of other stuff, starting with the chat usually predicts what my what nuts, Humpty Dump Nuts thing is going to be. I'm a little offended. Nobody has caught on that in the summer, I do not do what nuts.
No.
I do summer reps make me feel fine. Mm-hmm. So
I have picked up on that.
For now, keep those under your hat.
You are wearing today, to jump into outfit chat right away, you are wearing, is that a New England Revolution kit?
No, this is a collaboration from, I believe, last year. It's like a long sleeve. It is a long sleeve thing. It has long sleeves, and they never wore this. This is more of a fashion piece, but it is a collaboration with, I believe, a skateboarding company.
Interesting. I was going to say, I automatically dislike every soccer kit that has a fucking collar, like a polo.
We've had this conversation.
It annoys me so much.
I'm in.
No, I hate it.
Sean?
There is no reason for any sport outside of golf to have, and even golf, I just wear t-shirts if you want.
Oh, I like that.
I hate collars on athletic apparel. That shit is lame as hell.
I mean, you know me. I am an anti-polo boy. Mm-hmm. So if I'm wearing a polo, it means there's something cool going on with that polo. And I believe I currently own in my life right now 2 polos. One is one of those like thick knit jobs. The other one, I can't even tell. Who cares? It's a fucking polo. Yeah, I have a Vampire Weekend soccer kit thing that has a little collar. It's very loud. I bet you'd hate it though.
I guess rugby can have them because rugby they have like the long sleeve and they're typically like a different color collar and they got like the stripes. That's a pretty unique look to rugby. They can have that. Anything other than golf, I'm absolutely out on anything with a collar.
Well, congratulations on your fit. You're all Texased out.
That's right.
Very, very strong support.
Welcome to the SEC, boys.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Hook 'em.
I don't have the best feeling.
No, I'm cautiously optimistic. Losing CJ Baxter hurts, entering the SEC, although their schedule is not that difficult even for the SEC this season.
I had an argument the other night about A.D. Mitchell. And I realized that not everybody follows Texas receivers as closely as I might. So during my fantasy auction, I was yelling. I was like, "You don't know that he has diabetes and that his like medication gives him mood swings, and he yells at teammates."
Hey, he's still like a weapon with the Colts.
He's going to be awesome.
Texas receivers Texas doesn't produce a lot of like high level NFL receivers.
Andre Johnson.
They do now.
Hopefully.
Xavier Worthy.
I don't really.
Xavier Worthy weighs 125 pounds. I'm a little nervous, but
he doesn't have the best hands.
He's on that team.
We have a massive show today. As I mentioned, Sean Monahan of the Columbus Blue Jackets joins us, which rules because Sean Monahan rules. I loved that signing for them so much. The day that we did the free agency talk, I think that was the second day of free agency because I was sick. We did a lot of Predators. We did a lot of like Jeff Skinner and Arvidsson and Henrique back to the Oilers. And then kind of my only other really loud thought, other than Maple Leafs, you got good players, weird contracts though, was, Sean Monahan to the Blue Jackets. Now they're deep down the middle. They're always going to have those defensemen.
They have a coach.
They didn't have a coach at the time. We discussed that with Sean Monahan.
They barely had a coach last year.
It seemed they didn't have a coach last year. That was some real duct tape that was put on that situation, and it wasn't amazing. But Sean Monahan is a great guy. Whoever called him boring is a fucking liar. We discussed that, yes, his speaking voice does have a little je ne sais quoi to it.
AKA monotone.
He's monotone.
Sean monotone.
But he's also just such a good-looking guy.
Good-looking guy, great personality, was fun with us. Definitely not the most boring interview we've had, so I think he's beating the allegations.
He's not locked in.
He's not locked in.
So I will say that for him. He was not locked in, which is good. We need to make merch that says locked in, and it's somebody like sleeping.
It's just a picture of Sebastian Aho's face. Locked in.
He was locked in, man. I thought that they were going to win the cup based on that. But let's start with the Boston Bruins because they might have a Jeremy Swayman problem. And I cautioned earlier this week on a podcast that we're doing it's going to happen. He's going to sign.
Yeah.
It's going to work out. If you're worried about it, then you're this or you're that. I think it's going to work out, but you just don't know until it actually happens. And right now, in late August, Jeremy Swayman is among many big-name RFAs. Our guy, Seth Jarvis, also among them.
Who wore a shirt this week with a picture of himself holding a giant money bag.
Yeah.
Which is, I love the manifestation. Seth Jarvis is the best.
He's great.
That's got to be Jeremy Swayman's next move. Got to wear a shirt with himself carrying a suitcase of cash.
I don't think that he needs to do any sort of subtle stuff like that because he's not being subtle. He went on Mark Lewis, who is a Boston-based content creator, very fun guy, went on his podcast, the Shut Up Mark podcast, and discussed, and I'll remind you, last year the Bruins took Jeremy Swayman to arbitration. He was very not happy about it. Harbored, I won't say ill will, but kind of...
Oh, bitterness.
Remembered that.
Yeah.
He remembered that.
Kept those receipts.
He clearly still remembers that. Here is Jeremy Swayman on that podcast discussing the current contract negotiations with the Bruins.
You're in a big point in your career with a big contract negotiation going on right now. No one else really knows what this is like. Your first, presumably, longer contract. What is that like from an athlete's perspective?
If you were to ask me that same question a year ago, I would answer it truthfully and I would say it's scary. It's a lot of resentment towards people that want you to succeed. And when you're not getting compensated for your endless efforts and doing what you do best, it's a nerve-wracking feeling because it's your family you're fighting for. And the answer I'm going to give you this year is that I've educated myself and that I understand the business side of it all. And it's given me a complete new mindset of understanding the business and how to react to it. I understand the cap is going up and where it will be in years. I understand my comparables and how I can't ruin the goalie market for other guys that are going to be in my shoes down the line.
It's nothing I didn't even think of that.
I went to the School of Business for the University of Maine, so I love the business side of it all. And I studied it, and I love it. I'm doing classes still in Stanford, part of the NHLPA program on business. I know that these experiences I'm doing now are going to help me post-career when I want to be a businessman, when I want to talk about serious stuff, away
We'll
from
give you a
hockey.
job at sideline.
I'm in.
No worries at all.
100%.
That's special.
Little Pat McAfee special whenever you're ready to come on down.
So Jeremy Swayman, huge fucking nerd.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
He's standing on business.
He's literally standing on business.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me at all. And he's not a huge fucking nerd, but he is nerding out about this because this is his life. He feels that they fucked him last year. And this happens all the time when teams do bridge contracts. A player can be like, okay, I'll remember that.
Yeah, I'll take this one to my next deal.
He didn't, okay. Finished third in save percentage, was one of the best goalies in the playoffs last year, is 25, turning 26 going into this year. The Bruins were going to trade Linus Ullmark pretty much no matter what. They end up moving him. Everyone says he has all the leverage. I kind of think that he does, although the one thing, we can get to it in a little bit, I don't really think there's a threat of an offer sheet because there generally isn't a threat of the offer sheet. And with how much money he's looking for.
Yeah,
if any team signed him to an offer sheet, they would have to give up 4 first-round picks.
Yeah, four first-round picks and have to pay a goaltender upwards of $10 million a year if you're to believe the asking price, which came out this week from Rich Keefe of WEI, said that Jeremy Swayman was asking for $10 million a year. I don't know how much I buy that, but it's going to be in the neighborhood. Like in the general neighborhood, you're going to be paying first-round picks plus a lot of money to a goaltender. I think the risk and the threat of an impending offer sheet, it doesn't really exist given what the price tag would be for another team.
Yeah, let me give you a rundown on the AAV and what it would cost teams if they sign Jeremy Swayman to an offer sheet. If it's between 6.87 and 9.16 million, it's a first, second, and a third. If it's between 9.16 million AAV and 11.45 million, it's 2 firsts, a second, and a third. If it's between 11.45 million or if it's 11.45 million and up, it's 4 firsts. And before you say, hey, 9.16 million, sounds going on outside.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Can folks hear this? Can you hear how loud this is? Working.
What is that? Are they cleaning the street or something? It's sounds like there's like
I think our building is deflating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you sinking?
Yes. It's like the
Sean, tell me mean business.
You remember that commercial?
It's Stanley Steamers?
You remember that commercial, the anti-smoking, anti-weed ad from like the 90s where that girl just like deflated on the couch?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's me
Working.
right now.
Yeah, Stanley Steamers. I don't know what they're doing there. The truck is open on like the side of it, on the other side, facing the street. So I can't see what they're doing. I can just see that they're doing something.
Okay, well,
than a
let me
Cleveland
reset the
steamer.
second half of that, which is if it's between 9.16 million and 11.45 million, it's 2 first, second, and a third. And if it's more than 11.45 million, it's 4 first-round picks. Before you think, hey, well, a team could sign him to $9.5 million a year, give up 2 firsts, a second, and a third. That's not so bad. Wrong, because remember, I always have to remind people of this. The AAV with compensation for RFAs is not the same calculation as it is normally, where it's total money divided by years. With RFA offer sheets, it's calculated by total money divided by years up to 5 or 5. So if a team signs him to even just $10 million for 7 years, that AAV, as far as compensation is concerned,
$2 million.
What's that?
Correct? Wouldn't it be $10 million divided by 5?
It would be $70 million.
Oh, okay. AAV,
So it's total money divided by 5, which is, I believe, 14. Buddy, that's 4 first-round picks.
Yeah.
So if you sign him to the contract that seemingly he wants, or reportedly he wants, you're giving up 4 first-round picks for him. So I'll at least say, don't be scared of an offer sheet because it doesn't seem that's going to happen. But here we are, late August, and they're still dicking around with each other. And from that, did it sound like they're close? Do you say that sort of thing when you're at the finish line? Normally, you say, I'm sure something's going to happen, and then like 4 hours later, the contract signed.
Yeah, I mean, but he has had those quotes before, and I think the framing of that specific question was like, I think it was like, what have you learned from this kind of process, or like what is your feeling been?
Yeah,
going
you
through
said,
the process?
well, it said like, take me into this negotiation. Yeah. What's your mindset?
Yeah, so I think that he was getting more into like his personal feelings versus like, are you close? Because we've seen both sides to this point say we're gonna get something done here. So the confidence that both sides seem to have don't indicate that they're that far apart. It's just like at some point you gotta rumpus time is over, get the deal done.
Yeah, I don't know how close or far apart they are. I will note, as I've noted before, his agent, Louis Gross, also represents Torrey Krug. So this is a pair that has had some not fun times over the years. But the $10 million thing has kind of freaked people out because it's been met with, oh, well, that's just a radio guy. What does he know? Somebody who's connected to the Bruins talks to Rich Keefe because he's heard some stuff that's ended up being right. He was right about David Pasternak's contract. So I'm not dismissing Rich Keefe. He's also a friend, but I don't think that he's just pulling stuff out of his ass. As he's noted, would he if he's making stuff up for clout, would he make up, respectfully, hockey fans, a Boston Bruins rumor in August, I think he'd make up something a little more salacious.
He works in the Boston market.
Right, but why wouldn't he say, like, hey, the Patriots are starting Drake May week 1? That's going to get him the clout.
Yeah, if he was just pure making shit up, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the $10 million AAV ask, as I said, has freaked some people out. Crunched some numbers, looked at the highest paid goalies in the NHL, and based it off percentage of cap. Sean, if you would throw this up, Carey Price obviously has the biggest contract. The percentage of the cap in the year 1, that is, there's that last column, Sean, is a little fucked. I'll just go down it. 13.21% of the cap was Carey Price's $10.5 million AAV. If you take that percentage, which again is the highest percentage of a cap in year 1 of a goalie contract.
Throw that graphic up just to see the numbers. I know that the last column's fucked, but
yeah. So Price, Bobrovsky, Vasilevsky, and Hellebuck. Yeah. Also note that in the cases of Hellebuck, Bobrovsky, and Price, they're 30 years old. Vasilevsky's was signed more closely to Swayman's age. He's currently 25. He's going to be 26 in November. But the percentage of the cap in year 1 is what's more important when you're looking at these things, because it's not just like, oh, should he be making as much as Andrei Vasilevsky? Andrei Vasilevsky signed his contract a while ago. Mm-hmm. So it's, if you want to give him the quote unquote the same contract, you take what the percentage of the cap was in year 1 and you apply it to this year's cap, which is $88 million. Did crunch those numbers. If we go by Carey Price contract, it would be $11.62 million AAV. If we go by Bobrovsky contract, it would be $10.79 million AAV. There you go. Good work, Sean. If we go by Vasilevsky, $10.26 million AAV. And Hellebuck, which starts this year, is just what it is. So $8.5 million AAV.
Which, by the way, that Connor Hellebuck deal, awesome in comparison to the rest of those.
Yeah, yes. 30, though, still. But, I mean, the AAV is just so much lower. Yeah. That it shows, though, that the goalie market has been going the other way, and Swayman wants to be a big part of fixing it. I love the move of, and again, I love Jeremy Swayman. If I ran into him right now on the street, I think that it would be appropriate if we hugged each other. Mm-hmm. He's that good a guy. I like the move of, I need to do this for my fellow goalies. Give me the most money. I will be the man that will fix this. It's great. Everybody wins. You get paid, and everyone's like, Jeremy Swayman, thank you. You saved all the future goalies. I like this move. I like it for my guy.
I'll tell you what, a lot of Bruins fans don't like the move. See, I saw a lot of Bruins fans cooking Jeremy Swayman.
Well, then get
this guy out of here.
Well, then move to Canada.
Yeah, so a lot of Bruins fans being dickheads to Jeremy Swayman. I say, always get your money.
Yeah.
Always get your money. You are not... I love when guys take hometown discounts. Like, Bruins have benefited from that for quite some time at this point. I never expect it. Especially when the leadership group is transitioning. Like, most of the core from the previous generation for this Bruins core, it's gone. All those guys took discounts for the most part. It doesn't have to stay that way moving into this generation. And Jeremy Swayman clearly wants his money, especially after getting his feelings hurt last year during arbitration, which, by the way, the arbitration whole process is designed to hurt your feelings.
Yeah. I
don't hold that against the Bruins at all.
I like the way that he put it, though. Like, you grow to resent people who want you to succeed. The Bruins want Jeremy Swayman to be the best player he can be, and then they sit him down, and this isn't specific to the Bruins, but just don't fucking take your players to arbitration. Actually, as Don Sweeney will note, he took us to arbitration. How did we possibly get here?
We're all looking for the guy who did this.
Another thing, and this is more aimed towards probably like local talking heads, a big pet peeve of mine is if Swayman remains unsigned as camp begins, he is not holding out. He doesn't have a contract. I hate when people say a player is holding out when they're not there because they don't have a contract.
Like, he can't be there.
The reason The reason they're not there isn't because they're refusing to show up. They're refusing to sign a deal that they're not comfortable signing, but that's a two-sided thing because the other team is refusing to give the player the deal that they desire. And based on those numbers and the percentage of the cap, Swayman, who was top 5 2 years ago in save percentage, top 3 in save percentage last year, is, we agree, probably a top 5-ish goalie.
Ish, yeah.
That's where I put him.
Yeah.
And maybe he ends up solidifying himself as like an annual Vezina guy. He needs to play more.
The question is can he do it without a 1B or as part of a tandem that splits a lot of time? That's the big question right now. And obviously he's been good the past 2 years. It's still relatively early on. Goalies can be pretty volatile, can be pretty unpredictable. So my question to you would be, what is the number that makes you uncomfortable if Jeremy Swayman signs?
Yeah, so I was just going to say, if you're going to see him as all these things and give him the contract that a top 5 or 3 or whatever goalie would get, then you are looking at 10 million plus or 10.79 if you want to replicate the Bobrovsky contract, which Bobrovsky was a UFA, or if you want to just do the Vasilevsky contract, $10.26 million. Going into this summer, I would wrinkle my nose once it starts to get north of 9. I've thought all along, it's going to be 8 times 8.5. And if Swayman's not comfortable with that, which maybe he's not comfortable with that, then do 6 times 8.5. Because the Bruins, I don't think, want to give huge AAV. I always caution, if it's a very good player, against doing the fine. We want to lower AAV, so we'll go shorter years. That's how you end up with like Austin Matthews type contracts, which great for the player, not amazing for the team. I think that at this point, having crunched the numbers, I understand if Swayman wants $10 million a year. And if you want to not give him $10 million a year, then you're just going to have to go shorter and get him to UFA sooner. So that's how I feel.
Yep, I think that's fair. We got super chats, by the way.
Yeah. I wanted to save it for the end for if we clip this conversation and put it on YouTube. So everybody make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube. Thank you very much for doing that. Super chat from John Evans. Folks, I'm driving to Canada for a job interview. Do you have a favorite Canadian snack I should look for while I'm here? Also,
buddy, do we?
Hockey Hall of Fame Pro Shop Wars? Oh, come on. Who are you talking to? Coffee Crisp? And
fuck a coffee crisp.
Maynard's.
You go Maynard's?
Maynard's Fuzzy Peaches, and
Fuzzy Peaches.
all dress chips. Easy.
I told you that there was Maynard's in the Big Apple, right?
You did not. I don't think you did.
I walked past there's a little convenience store, and they had all the stickers of the things they carry, Nabisco, whatever, and Maynard's was there.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
I love those convenience stores that have the worldly snack section with stuff from all over the place.
I mean, Japan, what you know about Stroop waffles?
Canada.
I'm pretty sure I've talked about them before, but
those are incredible. Those are the best places on earth, those convenience stores. Smoke a little weed, go in there and see your world. It's like the Epcot of being high.
Yeah. Yes. My nights, as I think I documented in the Edmonton vlog, would pretty much always end in Edmonton with I'd smoke some weed. There's a vending machine on my hotel floor. I'd get some all-dressed chips and just fucking eat a bag of all-dressed chips in my hotel room.
You can get all-dressed chips here, though, can't you?
Not really.
Really?
Yeah, not.
I thought you could.
They're not.
They're great.
They're the best.
I just think that the Coffee Crisp thing, Coffee Crisp is obviously delicious, but there is an existing Coffee Crisp type snack here, and the downgrade from the Canada version to the US version is not quite as steep as the Fuzzy Peaches.
Yes, because Fuzzy Peaches are not just what's it called?
Peach rings.
They're not peach rings.
They're juicier and softer.
It doesn't make any sense.
They're the juiciest
different.
candy I've ever had.
They're different.
They are
yeah.
just a distinctly different candy. They're just also peach flavored and chewy and kind of sugary, but they are amazing.
I love, and I am a massive peach rings head.
Yeah, so am I. It's always been my favorite candy.
Yeah, but those Maynard's ones
are now my
Just
favorite candy.
they're just fucking different.
Your mouth is fucking wet after you eat those. It's crazy.
And before.
Doesn't make any sense.
Amazing. So that's an answer. How do we feel, by the way? about flavored chips that aren't your, this is such a lame topic, but I feel like I've been doing them more of late, that aren't your barbecue, sour cream and onion, your pico de gallo tortilla chips.
I don't get too aggressive or too adventurous with my chips.
The one place I get adventurous is I love pizza flavored Pringles, which is not like crazy adventurous, but it's not like a normal flavor.
I mean,
chip.
that's a pretty, I think of that as a pretty stoned food.
Yes.
Pizza flavored goldfish, though?
Never had
Clear.
Never had it.
Oh, man. Pizza flavored goldfish are incredible.
I believe it.
Sir.
I
And
love Frank's
they have,
hot sauce goldfish.
I didn't know that they had those.
Yes, those
wow,
fun.
hell yeah. They also have like flavor blasted goldfish.
Yes.
And they have like buffalo wing ones.
Yeah.
Those are also unbelievable.
Goldfish just rock.
Yes.
There is
I like the original goldfish better than cheddar.
Really?
Like
Interesting.
like the saltine type regular originals.
They do have a
Those
very
are
distinct
so
flavor.
good.
They are good. I love the rainbow ones. They're not really different. I just like them.
Folks who are in the Northeast, I strongly recommend, there is a Waltham, Massachusetts-based tortilla chip company called El Nacho. All they make are tortilla chips. I believe they have 3 flavors: original, El Diablo, and Miss Mango. And all 3 of these chips, there's fucking something about them. I've texted Pete about them. I've driven, they have them down the street from you.
Like literally? Or
I won't say where.
Okay.
There is, on a main street near you, there is a place that would carry things like that. That isn't a supermarket.
Is it a gas station?
It's not a gas station. It's not a supermarket. It's another place that sells food on that street. Anyway, they're so fucking good. And if I see them anywhere, I freak out. I take a picture. I text the 4 people I know who's had them, and I buy them. I was with a friend. We were picking up some sandwiches. I was like, hey, this is really weird. I'm going to buy you these chips. Just take them home and have them later. El Nacho. They're fucking incredible. Sean, I'm going to get you something.
Okay. I like tortilla chips as long as I have something to dip them in. I can't eat plain tortilla chips.
But these ones you can even just raw dog. But these are, there's something about them. The love of your life, here we go, says Monahan toast eating Habs and Jets legend. Like a toast eating guy, you're saying boring?
I had toast this morning.
I don't like toast catching those strays.
Yeah, me either. Toast is
isn't boring.
a great vehicle for jams and jellies.
If you consider toast boring, I would suggest that you are incapable of making your toast interesting. That's a skill difference.
Agreed.
Oh, love that. One of the more PG super chats from the love of your life. I like it. I'm not getting my hopes up. That's going to become a regular thing, but thank you, love of your life. We love you. Michaela says, you need to go to Jungle Gyms in Cincinnati, Ohio, if you like snacks and food from all over the world.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Sounds like we need to go to Jungle Gyms.
We need to go to Cincinnati for the Cyclones January 6th game.
Oh my God, I forgot.
By the
about
way,
that.
we never got those jerseys. They said that they were sending those jerseys. We can officially put them on
they
blast
said they were
now.
going to send some?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. They probably said that and then saw that we only wanted them because it was...
Oh, no, I made it explicitly clear
fair.
that we wanted them because they were the January 6th jerseys.
They
Paint
knew
the town
what
red.
they were doing.
I think so too.
Speaking of merch and cool things to put on set, our friend Leon here is one of many FOCO products that we have. We've talked about FOCO a lot on this show. As you'll see in our conversation with Sean Monahan, we've got the stinger head right in the middle, sitting atop Leon. It's all sorts of FOCO stuff. It's a real FOCO cornucopia. We've got so much of it. They make our favorite collectibles. And Pete and I, famously, not big, like, we don't get cards. We don't do those sorts of things. We get them.
When we started the show, FOCO was like, hey, we will hook you up with some like free bobbleheads to dress the set and just kind of spice things up. And we're like, you know what?
We were like, are we
No thanks.
bobbleheads
We're not
guys?
bobblehead guys. And then they sent us the link to the website. We went on the website and we were like, we are fucking bobbleheads guys.
We went from, maybe you could talk us into getting some bobbleheads to, look, we know we have 80 things on this list, but can we please have them? And they gave them to us. This Leon one is so good. There's a cursed one that I can't decide whether to get.
Yes.
They have a Connor McDavid Conn Smythe one.
A bobblehead?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had a
DJ has
bobblehead.
spent his entire summer perusing Connor McDavid Conn
Like
Smythe,
cursed
the merch.
Yeah, that is the most.
Cursed oil. I've gone from like happy because I picked up every Oilers thing last season that I could, and now I'm just getting into cursed Oilers stuff, and there's a lot of it.
It's in your self-destructive era of the summer, just like only perusing merch that makes you feel bad and commemorates the worst thing that happened to you this year.
Yeah, Sean, what do you know about cursed memorabilia? Would you take any of that?
Would I take it?
Like, would you take a Jeff Skinner?
Jeff Skinner
Thing?
buyout T-shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jeff Skinner
that
buyout.
would be the coolest thing of all time, unironically. So yes.
Wait, like a Jeff Skinner buyout shirt?
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
I'll make that. I told you about the divisional series shirt, Red Sox shirt I made, right?
I think so.
What if we just started making like merch for like good contracts? It was like Jeff Skinner 1 year, $1 million.
I want the Sabres revealed their new Jumbotron that they have today, and one of the top comments on it was Jeff Skinner died for this. And I want like a RIP Jeff Skinner.
It would
Jumbotron
be
shirt.
very funny if they bought out Jeff Skinner so that they could save money to pay for their new Jumbotron. Also,
It's
wasn't Buffalo the arena that
the
dropped
Jumbotron
the
fell.
Jumbotron?
Yeah, that was the other top comment is don't fall this time.
Yes.
They also, has anybody said you could have saved money by not having Jeff Knight? Jeff Con?
Also true. By not buying a jet ski.
Yeah, Jeff Skinner probably could have played for the Sabres this year if they didn't do Jeff Con and spend $4 billion.
I do like, and I feel like I've been making too many jokes about players who are friends of the podcast, but it is kind of funny that they were like, Jeff, we got you a jet ski. Why
Get the
don't
fuck out of here?
you get on it and jet ski the fuck off to Western Canada? Bud?
Yeah, also a place that does not have easy water access. Like, it's not like they traded him to Vancouver, like a coastal city, or he ended up there, like anything like that. Like,
They should have given him the car from fucking Goodwill Hunting and then given him like $4,000 worth of gas cards and been like, scram.
well, it's funny because he thought that the gator that they were giving him was the gift at first.
Yes, that
it
was
would
very
be a
funny.
way better gift now.
I can't remember.
True.
Did I make this reference with you or somebody else? You know the episode of Love where Gus says to the director of Arya's cool action movie, he tells him some story about an article he read, and the director's like, "What's this? Like, tell me more about it. Let's make a movie about it." And his assistant hates Gus, so he keeps fucking stuff up, and Gus thinks that he's just sabotaging stuff. And at one point, the assistant's like, he says to go away forever. And Gus is like, yeah, fucking right. I'm not falling for that. And the director asks, like, how do you say certain words? Says to him, and he goes, go away forever. That's what the Sabres.
I think you made that reference last week on the show.
Yeah, so I didn't do it
Yeah.
here. That's not a good enough reference to make 2 weeks in a row. To somebody who's seen
It's
the
very
episode and
niche.
somebody who doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
It's like
what it is
a
at
very
all.
specific scene in line from a show that like not many people
I
watched.
love the line "go away forever," especially if it's like not the
Translated.
person's native language. We love Jeff. We love Foco. There's one that we want specifically.
Yes.
I've been texting the boys, being like, "Look, I love Leon. He's been here a bunch. I was gonna say he doesn't always need to be there. We'll see. But there's one player." Another Western Conference guy, another heavily discussed guy.
It's rope hands.
It's Rope. They make a huge Rope Hints one, and I really want to have big ass Rope right there. It'd be fantastic. So check out Foco.com or click the link in the description below. That doesn't work for this. For non pre-sale items, use the promo code CHAOS10 for 10% off. They got everything, not just stuff like the set decorations we have. They got hats, they got clothing. Foco, they're the best.
Hell yeah. Also the best is Shady Rays because the summer is almost over, but the sun will not go away forever. It will be here. So protect your eyes with Shady Rays. It's the sunglasses company that offers a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have a durable frame with crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. They've got hundreds of options to choose from. So if you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. They probably even have a pair that matches your favorite team's colors. Like, I haven't looked, but I bet they have burnt orange sunglasses.
They sure do.
That could be a look for me.
Have them and lost them.
It's really?
Yeah. Those are
the
ones
good
I had.
news is that if you lose them, they have the most ridiculous product replacement policy you've ever seen in your life. You lose a pair, you break a pair, they will replace them. And they always have personal and fast support. You're not talking to robots. You're not spending hours on the phone. You lose robots. If you lose your sunglasses, you can exchange for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. And it's easy, fast, and beautiful. So exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code AC35 for 35% off your polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. We
Can confirm that Shady Rays has orange glasses.
They do?
Yes.
Yes,
Confirmed?
they do.
Hell yeah.
I would like to say I don't embarrass super easily for whatever reason. I am extremely self-conscious about the fact that I made the same Love season 2 reference on back-to-back episodes. That makes me want to fucking die. I hate that listeners are like, he fucking said this weird thing last week. I feel terrible about that. Here's Sean Monahan. Joining us, one of the biggest free agent signings of the offseason, signed to a 5-year deal by the Columbus Blue Jackets, the great Sean Monahan. Sean, welcome to America.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on here today.
How do you like America so far? You've only played for Canadian teams to this point, and now for the first time, you've taken a trip south.
Yeah, no, it's a change. I mean, I've got up there a few times, got to check out the neighborhood I'm living in a little bit, and the facilities there in Columbus, and I mean, nothing but good things. So really looking forward to getting down there and getting going.
What are your first impressions of Columbus? We went down there last season. It feels like a weird city, but like I think it's very underrated.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I mean, I think it's beautiful. I mean, I was lucky enough to find a house right away, and yeah, I mean, the city's sneaky. It's not many people talk about it, but it's a great spot to play, and it's something I'm really looking forward to.
Is it weird being a Blue Jackets player who's not American, a University of Michigan product, or a Russian guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's different for sure. I mean, like you were saying too, I mean, I've only played in Canada. That's from junior on, so it's a bit of a change for me, but something I'm really looking forward to.
My favorite part of you signing with the Blue Jackets, I'll say, like, I'm wearing Blue Jackets stuff. We got Stinger there. We got a bunch of jerseys here. Pete mentioned that we've done stuff with the team. It's a great organization. We love Todd over there. We love all the players. Love this roster, though. So very excited that you went there. They went after you before they went after a coach. So is it a nice little feather in your cap that you were a priority over even getting a coach?
Yeah, no, it's a good feeling for sure. I mean, you want to be somewhere where you're wanted, and yeah, I mean, I thought it was a great fit. I talked to the GM quite a bit, and he wants to improve right away. So it's going to be a challenge, and that's why we play the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was their sales pitch? Because they've kind of in a transition period, and obviously they change in the in like the leadership group there, but a lot of good players. You got friends there, clearly, and I just was curious as to what that sales pitch looked like to you this summer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things that went into it for sure. I think it was my first time going through free agency, and I mean, you're kind of going through your options, and I think the big thing was to get back in the East. I really like the team too. I mean, there's a lot of great pieces, like you said. Great captain in Boone Jenner, who I've known for a while. Johnny, obviously a good friend and great player, and I think there's some young guys that are really going to step up and be real good players in this league for a long time. So I think that was something I wanted to be a part of and help push the team get back into the playoffs.
Why the East? You hate the West?
We're West
No,
guys.
I mean, I was in the West for so long, and I think it's far away. And now that I'm getting a little bit older and had my first child, I think it's really nice for family to be able to drive out and I mean be on the same time zone and that kind of stuff. So it something that had a big effect on where I was choosing to go.
You mentioned having friends on the team. You had to know when the list got shorter and when Columbus was in the picture that if you signed with the Blue Jackets, every fucking thing was going to be about, oh, he did it just because of Johnny Gaudreau. So did you do it just because of Johnny Gaudreau?
No, definitely not. I mean, obviously it's
definitely not.
Oh, don't even like that guy.
I mean, Johnny's one of my best friends. And I think, I mean, to go full circle, kind of start when I was 18, 19 with him. And I mean, come back to be able to play with him again is pretty cool. And I mean, we both have sons that are I think 2 or 3 months apart, so they get to kind of grow up together. But no, I mean, I think looking at the team, you got some real solid veteran guys and a lot of young guys who are going to, like I said, step up and be a big part of this team for now and the future. And I think what I've been through in my career and the type of player and person I am, I can really help out, I guess, those guys, the organization, and move this team back to being competitive.
What's something about Johnny Gaudreau that we don't know?
He's actually a pretty quiet guy. I mean, a lot of people think he's some crazy guy, but no, he's pretty simple. And I mean, just an awesome all-around guy. I mean, great dad, great friend, and obviously a special player.
It's if your name is Johnny, I feel like there's excitement projected on you. If you just go by John, people can think that you're reserved and dull.
Sure.
So, and it's, I mean, Johnny Hockey is a pretty loaded nickname.
I mean, he's got a lot of great highlights, but I think my favorite Johnny Gaudreau highlight was I forget whose wedding it was. Yeah. He was fucking ripping it up. It was like was it Hayes' wedding?
I don't know whose it was, but it became Johnny Gaudreau's
wedding. Yeah. He was ripping it up. He was on somebody's shoulders. Is it Kachuk?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think he was on Brady Kachuk's shoulders. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was Brady. Yeah.
Because it happened so long ago. Can you tell us why you and Gaudreau were late for that practice after the Super Bowl? Because I remember there was such a big story that the day after the Super Bowl, you guys were late for a practice. And I remember at the time, I was like, that Super Bowl sucked. Maybe they were just talking about how bad and boring that Super Bowl was. But what happened?
Yeah, no, we just, honestly, we both just slept in and, I mean, got there before practice started. But, yeah, I mean, it caused a huge stir with the media. And, I mean, we were really young guys, and I mean, obviously that's behind us now.
That must feel like a million years. Like there's so many things that have just like changed in your career. Even like you played 83 games last year, and there was a time when obviously you were getting surgeries and you were missing time, and you were really like grinding to play as many games as you could. And you'd gone from a player who would play 82 games a year early on, and then, as I said, there were injuries, and now last year, you're playing more games than literally anybody in the NHL. Has your career like felt like it's had these ups and downs and had all these changes?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing was I was hurt for a while, and I mean, my personality was just to play through things. Obviously, that caught up to me, and yeah, I would try and grind, and it wasn't fun. So I mean, I finally took care of myself, and I'm back healthy and feeling great. So it's nice to be able to go to a game and know you can be the player you can be. And yeah, I mean, those injuries are behind me now and looking forward to the future here.
I remember a couple of years ago, I think it was Montreal, where you wanted to play against the Flames and you like really, really pushed yourself to play against Calgary. And then you ended up regretting it. But last year, one of your first games with Winnipeg, first period hat trick against the Flames. How good did that feel?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you score, it feels good. Like getting 3 early and having a lead, but I mean, at the end of the game, it kind of sucked because we ended up losing. But I mean, going back there, I was there for about a decade, and I think a lot of memories there. And I mean, to be able to score in front of the fans who cheered me on for so many years, it was pretty cool feeling, one I'll always remember.
Yeah, I mean, you had Kachuk shouting out Calgary and the fans and everything, even after win the cup. Obviously, a lot of guys have left there, but that's a fan base that just wants it so badly. So even a couple teams later, do you look back at that team and be like with the affection that a lot of former Flames do?
Yeah, for sure. It was, I mean, I was there from 18 to 28, and I think it was, I grew up there. It was my first team that drafted me, and I mean, a lot of connections I made there through charities, met a lot of kids that I still keep in contact with, fans, and I mean, different parts of the organization, and obviously teammates too. So, I mean, some of those guys I played with from 2013 are still some of my best friends, and we talk weekly, and it's yeah, it was a special place to play, so it's something I'll always remember.
Yeah, I saw this one story that like you signed with the Blue Jackets just because Johnny Gaudreau was there, and I'm like, wow, that must have been
must have been good vibes.
A really close group. Getting back to the 83 games thing, you don't get paid more when you play an 83rd game, right? Because it's by days on the roster, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so when you're going into that 83rd game, do you almost wonder, like, am I tempting fate here?
You ever think about holding out?
You're like a UFA. Like, what if, God forbid, the 83rd game is the one in which you get injured, and then everyone's like, don't sign this guy. Not only is he hurt, he's a tough guy trying to play more games than everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought it was pretty cool playing an extra game. It's, I mean, you look back when you're retired, that'll be something that'll stick out. But I actually should have had 84, but I had the flu the one day, and the training staff sent me home. So it was a bit of a stinger, but I mean, it would have been, I guess, even cooler playing that 84th game.
Wow, so you're the first player in this era to miss time and play more than 82 games in a season. That's crazy. Tyson Barrie played 85 games a few years ago between Edmonton and Nashville.
That's insane.
Outrageous.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's been your experience with like the Columbus fans so far? Because that fan base is one of the most like intriguing in my perspective, because they're like fiercely loyal. They're obviously not the biggest market in the world, but they show up all the time. We went to like a Tuesday game last year. Team wasn't good. Still a packed building. Still a great atmosphere. Like, they're fiercely loyal. But we also talked to a guy like Zach Werenski, who was like, I love playing in this market because I get to go to the games and the building's packed, but then I get to go home and like go to the supermarket and not be bugged. So like, what's been your experience, and like what do you look for in a market as a player and like a personality?
Yeah, no, I think the biggest thing is fans that kind of care and show up and support the team. So I think we're lucky in Columbus with that. I mean, I think it was my second NHL game was in Columbus. I got my first NHL goal there, and I remember the crowd was into that game. It was early in the season. I'm like, this is a pretty cool place. And I mean, obviously when the Blue Jackets score, the cannon goes off, which scared me the first couple times, but no, they get into it. It's a great market, and I mean, like I said, it's sneaky and undercover that doesn't get talked about enough.
You know, you're not allowed to touch the cannon.
Yeah, DJ found out the hard way. They yelled at him for touching the cannon.
Somebody yelled at me. The woman behind me said, because we were taking pictures by it, I didn't listen when they said don't touch the cannon. I accidentally touched the cannon, and the woman behind me said, now if they lose, it's your fault. And with all due respect, your guy Johnny Gaudreau had a pretty bad turnover during that game, and I was like, this is not on me.
That's great.
How many games do you think it's going to take for you to get adjusted to the cannon? Because I'll tell you, it was more than one for us.
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, it gets me every time we play there. So it probably take 15, 20 games, and then kind of get used to it. But yeah, I mean, it gets me. I mean, every time that thing goes off.
I got a good idea. If you start the season slow, just blame it on the cannon. Say it's fucking up your mojo. You can't really get accustomed to the playing at home yet.
For sure.
It's not a bad idea. I know that you are tight with a lot of guys on the team. You mentioned Boone Jenner, obviously Johnny Gaudreau. If you are looking for any more friends, we highly recommend Kirill Marchenko. Do you know that guy?
No, I don't. I haven't met him yet.
He fucking rocks.
Unbelievable. the best dude. He's so interesting. He loves the zoo. He does not like music. And if you're wondering, well, maybe he doesn't like certain kind of music. No, he's not interested in music. Does not listen to music. Doesn't have Spotify. Doesn't have Apple Music. Doesn't even care for when he scores a goal when they play the music. Doesn't really want the stuff. What an insane guy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting all the guys on the team. So I've met a few of them, and I mean, I'll be down there in the next few days, and hopefully get to see everybody there.
Do you like music?
Yeah, I like music.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
It's going to be a rift in the locker room then. That guy doesn't like music.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Like, first few days, you walk in, start playing music, and Marchenko's like, I don't know how they do things in Montreal and Winnipeg, but we don't do that kind of thing around here.
What can you tell us about Jordan Harris? Because you play with him in Montreal. He just got traded to Columbus, I believe, and we've decided that he's really, really important to us on this show. So we're kind of trying to do some scouting. What can you tell us about him?
I know he's a great guy. I mean, pretty quiet, good player for sure. Skates well, moves the puck. Yeah, I mean, he's someone who I think is gonna be an important piece there in Columbus. But yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic kid, and I mean, really upbeat, and I mean, always smiling. He never doesn't have a smile on his face.
You hear your beautiful child in the background. Congratulations, by the way, new dad. Hell yeah, what an off season for you.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely amazing. Did you hate the boring Sean Monahan account as much as I thought it was funny, but I thought it was mean.
No, I mean, I didn't mind it. I still think it was someone on my team running it, but yeah, no, some of them were great. I mean, some of the stuff was stuff that was happening on the plane and stuff, so I don't know, I was pretty suspicious, but yeah, I mean, I haven't seen that account in a long time, to be honest.
It was a mole then.
I think so.
You haven't figured out who it was yet?
No, I haven't.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I haven't even seen it in like probably 5 or 6 years.
Were you and all in your head as a result of it? Were you like, I think I got to go to the rink and yell today, or like do something to get people to stop writing these horrible things about me?
No, not at all. I mean, we had a really good group there. I think. I mean, I definitely don't think I'm boring. It's sometimes my voice a little monotone, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I thought it was funny most of the part, but yeah, I mean, I didn't really check up on it, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was good entertainment for the fans for sure.
What's the most animated you've ever been with the fellas?
It was,
whether it's
that Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, the Super Bowl. Just like, I can't believe Cam Newton didn't jump on the ball. Oh.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've played a lot of great guys, and I mean, there's a lot of good stories, but yeah, I mean, sure, there's many more to come.
If you had to create a boring blank player account for one of your former teammates, who would you choose?
Honestly, probably Johnny.
That would be awesome if you guys reunite and then suddenly a boring Johnny Gaudreau Twitter account just pops up. It would be a lot of signs would point to you.
I was going to say mainly funny. Because it would be incredibly obvious who's doing it. The only person in the league who has had an account made about themselves makes it about their new friend or their old friend as soon as they're back to seeing them every day.
Although I will say it might be a testament to you. You mentioned you don't think you're boring. If that account has died over like the last 5 years, maybe they no longer think you're boring. I mean, I'll say you're definitely not the most boring guest we've had on this show. Like, I don't think you're boring at all. So maybe credit to you.
Oh, I appreciate it.
It's what do you think of the team this year? I mean, we talked about how the roster is really like, I just like teams that are good down the middle. And you going to Columbus is why we like their offseason so much, because they're deep down the middle. They always have defensemen. Like, this is a team that obviously had its struggles last year, but on a 5-year deal, do you look at this group and say, maybe even if not immediately, this is a team that's going to get really good?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's why I joined. I think a lot of great defensemen, some veteran guys, a mix of everything back there. And like I said, there's some really skilled young guys, some young guys who are gonna be top players in this league soon. So it's an exciting group, and it's exciting. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be good.
Also, that like division seems to be kind of like shifting right now, where it's like a lot seems like it's the pieces are moving. I feel like Columbus could be in the mix and sooner rather than later. I'm very, very excited about what's going on down there, and I'm glad that you're going to be a part of it. So very, very excited to see what happens there. So yeah, I mean, you got anything else?
Well, I was just going to say, I'm definitely not going to tell you how to do your job, but it would be an incredible first impression to make if, I don't know, whether at a captain's practice or anything else, just be like, hey, I don't know what you boys know about me, but I'm used to playing more than 82 games in a season.
Yeah.
Famously, I played
I'll let 'em
83
know.
last year. So, and I ain't getting traded this year unless some weird shit happens. And boys, I don't plan on weird shit happening. So we better make the playoffs. You could phrase it however you want. Just be like, Daddy needs his 83rd game. Something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
He's like, yeah, I'll think about it.
Well, Sean, we're big fans. We really look forward to seeing what you do with the Blue Jackets. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Cool. Best of luck this season, man. Thanks again.
Thank you.
So cool.
He rocks.
Really cool. I love him.
Big fan.
Fucking Pete saying you're definitely not the most boring. Pete.
Not a lie spotted.
He's definitely not the most locked in.
He was not the most locked in. Well, he was locked in. I mean, he's daddy duty.
I genuinely did not think that was a boring conversation.
I didn't either.
Yeah. He speaks very monotone, but like had good answers. Wasn't leaving us wanting.
Yeah.
We learned something about Johnny Gaudreau, that he's just a boring dude.
Although he did say, he was like, a lot of people think Johnny Gaudreau is crazy. And I was like, who the fuck thinks that Johnny Gaudreau is crazy?
I'm telling you, I think it's just that his name is Johnny.
I think I feel like when he first got on the scene, he was just like skating all over the place and was fast as shit. People
he's exciting.
Yeah, and
like
I think people just
player.
think that's crazy.
I think that he's an exciting player. He seems like a good dude, but I would never describe him as like crazy or wild.
Yeah. Crazy and wild is the situation right now in Anaheim because our Ducks might be doing some fun stuff here. Elliot Friedman, in his 32 thoughts, one of the thoughts was the Ducks are sending Radko Gudas to the media tour this year, that NHL thing that we don't get invited to. Mm-hmm. I believe did he say like Captain Duck ? He did a little like, maybe can't spell Radko without a C, which
you famously
you have to spell it without a C.
If you're spelling it correctly.
Yeah, so you can spell it incorrectly with a C.
Yeah.
I like you can't spell Gudas without a letter.
Whoa.
Now he's getting one, maybe.
That's good.
Just saying.
Sean is over there.
You do that with
cooking in the
any
lab.
player. You can't spell. Hey, we should say that when we think of players' leadership material.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, can't spell Fantilli without a letter.
Multiple of them.
You need a bunch of them.
You need a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Radko Gudas being the captain of the Ducks would be so fucking wild.
I'll tell you what, not what I was thinking.
They obviously signed him as like to be the adult in the room. You don't need to like really hammer that home.
That's like kind of like giving Foligno the C.
See, I disagree. I think that I want to give Foligno the C.
So do I.
I say do it right now anyway. Do it for another 2 years, and then there you go. Maybe it's Bedard time. But Gudas, I just wasn't expecting. I'm not against it. It's not where I thought that this whole thing was going. But I think they need a captain.
I think they need a captain. I think they definitely need more adult players in that room. I liked the Gudas signing, but like, and this is coming from a guy who has Brad Marchand as his captain, but like, Gudas is pretty cheap. Like, pretty cheap, pretty dirty sometimes.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. But I don't know. Like, I just don't think that he's like a good enough player. Like I don't want to say he's like a not strong enough leader, but like, I don't think that anybody talks about Radko Gudas as like a big time leader until he got to Anaheim, where it was a bunch of fucking children running around.
So that's the thing. It's a bunch of children. It's a bunch of young forwards too, specifically. And I know that they have like Olin Zellweger, and they have young defensemen there as well. But who else is it going to be? Shout out Cam Fowler.
Frank Vetrano?
I'd be sad if I were Cam Fowler. I'd be like,
oh,
this is just like never going to happen. But I think it has to be a defenseman though, because the identity of this team is a bunch of young forwards, and they probably want to not lean into that. If you want to lean into that, you'd name. I'm going to cross myself here.
No,
Trevor Zegras captain.
Oh God!
And I'd say Troy Terry, if anybody.
Yeah.
Frank is like my captain in life, but he's also in a walk year. Just kind of
risky.
The situation, yes, it's risky. The situation isn't right to make him captain. Isn't Gudas in a walk year? Does he have one more year after this?
I don't know. Cap Friendly's dead. So what is it? Puckpedia now? That's the go-to source.
He was last year, his first year
Yeah,
there? I think it was. Yeah, so he has one more year after this.
25-26 is his walk year.
Okay, so a couple of years, and then you give it to Seneke. And
give it to Seneke, yeah. Also,
can't spell Beckett Seneke without a shitload of C's.
That's true.
This is how we determine captains.
I'm also like, why can't you name your goaltender captain? Why not?
You're not allowed to do that anymore.
Why not?
I believe actually even when Luongo was captain,
he
I
couldn't
think
wear the
he
C.
technically was not the captain.
Yeah.
Well, he did wear the C. Do you remember where he wore it? I think they painted onto his mask.
Oh, really?
Stupid.
Yeah.
I love Roberto Luongo. Have requested him, by the way. I forgot to tell you guys.
He's too busy eating everything out of the Stanley Cup.
I want to have him on just to be like, yo, can you stop eating pasta out of the cup for 1 fucking second and talk to us? How are you?
Why can't you name your goaltender captain? What is the reasoning behind that?
My only thought would be that, like, the captains and stuff are the ones that are supposed to talk to refs after penalties and stuff like that. You don't really want your goalie skating all the way out of the crease to go talk to
logistics,
the refs.
So then why doesn't the fucking ref go to him?
Because the refs have to stay in their half circle of protection when they're dealing with shit. You know what I mean? Like,
the games would move slower if you had to wait for the goalies to go out there.
Yeah, but it'd be more interesting.
Super chat from Rhino Den. Over under 169.5 Johnny plus Sean point total. Interesting. If we had more time, I was going to ask him, like, how funny would it be if they just didn't play you guys together?
I was looking at Sean Monahan's numbers before the interview, and
you were sleeping on him a little bit.
Sneaky good.
Yeah, he was good. I
know that he was a good player. Like,
Yeah.
I know that he's been a good player for a lot of years in this league. I guess I just like underestimated how productive that Calgary team was.
Oh, interesting. So you're thinking of Calgary. I thought that you were
No,
saying
I'm
that
saying
you were
like his
sleeping.
personal numbers, but like how
Yeah.
productive that team was offensively inflated his numbers or allowed him to have very good numbers for a lot of years.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was like the 6th fastest player to like 200 goals or something.
So when you said that, I thought that you were saying that you'd slept on how back he was. I think that he is back.
Oh, yeah. He was very productive last year.
People don't know this. He played in 83 games last year. So the
He
guy's
can stay on the ice.
healthy. We've got a
some.
chat from, what does that say? The love of your life. Uh-oh. Tried to speak on the interview. YouTube said no.
Interesting.
Don't know what that means, but it's
I'm going to go ahead and assume that YouTube was right in saying no.
I was going to say it's a 2 for 2 day for Love of Your Life on PG friendly comments.
Oh no, he's gonna whatever that was, and me reading those words, they're like, oh my god, I can't believe I got him to say it. He said that like that's a TikTok prank or something.
Last thing I'll say on Radko Gudas, like I would get it if the Ducks did it. It would still be one of the weirdest captains in the NHL.
Yes, but I've come around on it, and I support an old guy who's younger than me, defenseman on the Ducks being captain.
And I also think that he's very necessary for that team.
Shout out Cam Fowler.
I'm fine with teams not having captains.
What's that?
I'm fine with teams not having captains if there's not an obvious captain.
But the Ducks, especially with like the Cutter Gauthier of it all, and like
Trevor Zegras of it all. Like they need a leader. Clearly, that's what leads us into our next topic. We're staying on the Ducks. Trevor Zegras debuted a new haircut. I guess he soft launched it in some sort of Instagram video. But dear God, man, what are you doing?
So there are types of mullets, and that is one of the types.
That sure is a haircut. My God, he looks like I said on Twitter, an 80s cigarette mom.
That's a
trailer
great call.
trash type of mullet. Like that. Somebody on our Instagram described it as him nerfing himself so hard. And we discussed this last week, the term nerfing.
What is that again?
Making yourself very weak. Like basically making yourself less hot, making yourself less powerful, that sort of thing.
So
There's
he's like
nerfing and buffing.
Is he a pay pig?
No, he's just nerfing himself. He's making himself intentionally ugly.
Yeah,
Maybe
there
this
was
is
too
part
many
of the hot
distractions
tub.
when he was hot, so now he needs to nerf himself a little bit so he can lock in.
This is just a terrible look.
Not only does
terrible
he look like an 80s cigarette mom, he looks like an 80s cigarette mom that burns people with her cigarettes when she's upset.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Like looks like
He looks like Mac's mom.
Mac's mom, exactly what I was
Really?
going to say. It's exactly what I was
Yeah,
going to
he
say.
kinda
from
looks like Mac's
It's Always
mom.
Sunny.
Who?
Mac's mom from
Mac's
It's Always
mom.
Sunny.
Yeah.
That's literally what she does in one of the episodes when he's like, he's talking too loud in the car and he just burns it with a cigarette. Yeah.
Yeah, this is tough. We've discussed people that need to take some time off
gotta
in the
do
past.
something, yeah.
Like we famously on Brunch said that Taylor Swift needed to take an Olympic cycle off and just disappear for 4 years.
Prescient take.
Yeah.
The world could be a little less crazy if that happened.
We also, who else we said we needed them to just, like John Mayer actually did it.
Yeah.
John Mayer actually was like, all right, after the Playboy interview was like, I need to disappear and let the heat cool off on me. Like if he needs
to take a
if he
little
was
break
a GTA character with 5 stars, he was like, I need to lay low for a little while and go back down to like 0 stars.
Yes, but Trevor Zegras has done some annoying stuff. John Mayer quoted his penis as saying the N-word.
Correct.
And said the N-word in quoting his penis.
Correct. Yeah, very different cases.
To a magazine.
That was
Not
the,
that
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 was the
makes
final
it-
straw
that was
for
like-
John Mayer, but there was a lot of things that he was doing wrong, is all I'm saying. Trevor Zegras,
Yeah.
I feel like he's really stringing together. He's on a hot streak of just doing annoying shit. Take some time off, my guy.
I just think it's a challenge for me because, and it's got to be the same for you. We're all huge Ducks guys. We love the organization. We love the people. We love Frank. Shout out our pal Sammy over there. Like everybody at the Ducks has such amazing energy. And then there's this one guy who we haven't met. And a lot of the stuff we see of him, we're like, is this all good? Is this all
you
cool?
okay?
This sounds mean, and I
Are
don't
you
like being
okay?
like I don't want to sound like we're like picking on a player or anything. I feel like we need to know him. We need to meet him to know that it's
We need to understand him.
yes. It's important to us that we understand him.
All I'll say is the 2 updates that we've gotten on Trevor Zegras this summer. Earlier this summer, we got the update that he started nicknaming himself and calling himself the Wolf. And then he now has
about
this
that.
haircut. Both of those things, extremely uncool.
Could you see and would you be here for a Trevor Zegras redemption arc?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
always.
If he showed up with like a
Always.
buzz cut, I'd be in.
So that's my thing. Like, he doesn't have to fully disappear, obviously. Like, he doesn't have to disappear from the Ducks, but like, lock it in. Endearing.
If he showed up,
lock in.
I would love if he showed up with a fucking buzz cut. And he's
Buzz
like, I'm
cut,
here to kick ass.
No podcasts, including this one.
Yep.
No podcasts.
Turn us down.
I want him to start dressing poorly. Like come to the rink.
I don't
and-
think he has to dress poorly.
but
Just don't
I
dress
feel
loud.
like yeah, fair.
Yeah, like baggy pants kind of type stuff.
Not even like workout clothes. Show up in a sweatsuit.
And we are not the guys that are like, hey, hockey players need to show less personality. Make it more about the team. Be quiet. Like, we want guys to show personality.
As long as it's cool.
But yeah, not all personalities are created equal. That's all I'm saying. Either tone it down or just be cooler.
My thing is just like, if you're gonna do a mullet, do a good mullet.
Right.
Like Matthew Tkachuk has a mullet, and he looks fine.
Patty Kane's mullet was cool.
Like if you're gonna do the mullet, you gotta do the fade. Like you gotta do a modern mullet with the fade. Let it be, because like especially I respect when guys have hair hanging out of their helmets. So if you want to do that, there's ways to do it without it looking.
Here
like
is, and we have a super chat that I want to get to in a second. But here's another question: what if Trevor Zegras is awesome? He was so good 2 seasons ago, and last year was in and out of the lineup. Couldn't really tell what he was, but
Was hurt.
Yeah.
Maybe this is just Trevor Zegras' form.
I won't
Maybe
say he
he's
was
just
awesome 2 years ago, but he was.
He hasn't been awesome in a few years.
I mean, he 23 goals back-to-back years going into last season, and then 15 points in 31 games.
I think if you're Trevor Zegras, 23 goals is not good enough. Like
if you can score
2 out of his first 3 years, sure, but he needs to be like a 30 to 40 goal guy.
I think the Michigan fucked him. I think so.
Back to basics.
I remember when when the Bruins got Kasper's Dogevans, everyone was like, well, we know that he's like a nifty and slick puck handler because he did a weird shootout move once. And I'm like, they're going to think that this guy's this like super high-end skilled guy when is that totally what he is? You see Trevor Zegras do the Michigan and you know that he's so fancy. If you're an average fan, that guy's probably like a 50-goal scorer. No,
but he does have like a wide variety of offensive skills in his toolbox.
Yeah.
So like he's not just the flash guy. He chooses to be a lot of the times.
Yeah.
But he also is and can be a very productive NHL player. I just think that I think that he needs to lock it in.
Okay, a big super chat from Emily M, who asks, what are the boys' thoughts on the Sharks moves? And the answer to that is Sharks content coming soon. And it is going to be great.
I think the Sharks are interesting.
Love the I mean, we've tipped our hands, I think, on social media. We really celebrated the Askarov acquisition for them. They gave up a lot to get him, but that rules. Young team, tons of prospects. We put up an absolute banger of a social media post, which Pete put all of the young Sharks players and Cody Ceci up with like, who's stopping this young core? It didn't do anything on Instagram, and it fucking burned down Twitter, which is exactly how that should have gone.
100%.
It was a bunch of Oilers fans who were like, good post. And then a bunch of NHL fans who were like, why is Cody Ceci here?
Yeah, Oilers fans being like, oh, you boys don't understand Cody Ceci. Wait till you see. It's like,
oh no, I think that
no, there was one Oilers post that was like, these people do not understand Cody Ceci and who he is.
Okay, so those were Oilers fans who don't listen to the podcast.
Yes.
Oilers fans who do listen to the podcast were like, fuck yeah. He's still like Ceci's still part of the family, which he is. We love Cody Ceci.
Will always be part of
Bob
the family.
was speaking highly of him when we had him on last week.
Yeah.
What's that?
Bob was speaking highly of Cody.
Yeah,
Ceci
we
when
were
had him
too.
on last week.
And I've realized Cody Ceci has kind of slid into a type of player that I've always really appreciated. I call it the Daniel Paille class, where high draft pick does not become a star player and says, I'm fucking good at hockey, though. I'm having an NHL career. And is he mostly having it as a third pairing guy? Yeah. Has he had to take 1-year contracts here and there? Yes.
Still cashing those checks.
He's cashing those checks. He's not
Staying
making
in
a
the
ton
lineup.
of money. He's like keeping his dog fed, and he's a regular NHL player who is gonna be. I mean, fuck. If you're the Sharks, and now we are skipping ahead to our Sharks content, but if you're the Sharks, he's not Radko Gudas, but isn't that like let's bring in a guy who's got some championship-ish experience, who's very hungry.
You have to have adults in the room. No matter how young your team is, like how far away you are from being relevant, you have to have adults in the room, and you have to have guys who can play. And I think Cody Ceci, obviously, I think we can say he's not the best defenseman we've ever seen.
We can say that,
but he can play, and he's an adult, and I think he's an asset for the Sharks.
And has 2 C's in his name.
Huh?
and has two C's in his name.
In his name. You can't spell CC.
Do the Sharks have a captain?
No, we've done this 2 weeks in a row now.
What? We've stripped the C from Logan Couture twice?
No, we talked about the Sharks naming Cody CC captain last week. And you called him Cody CC, and I called him Cody CCC.
I think I have amnesia.
we did this last week.
Did we have a guest last week?
Bob.
Yeah, we had Bob.
Bob.
Yeah.
How did the Bob content do?
Very good.
Unbelievable
on
as
YouTube.
fucking usual.
Yes.
We could have Barack Obama. It's like Barack Obama joins to discuss the United States. And
would not do as well as
we'll
Bob
see how it
Stauffer
does.
on
Because
the-
Oilers are Canadians. Oilers fans are Canadians. They wouldn't go as far.
Right, but if we have Bob and it's like Bob Stauffer on to say hello, people are gonna be like, we gotta hear that conversation.
I don't want to because it would be a waste, but I also would be very interested if we were to do an interview with Bob and we posted it on YouTube and just said Bob Stauffer. How well it would do.
2 chats.
Wait, the title
is just Bob Stauffer.
Bob
Yes.
Stauffer.
That's a real experiment that we should try. 2 chats. Yeah, Cody CC is pretty handsome though. Absolutely. We talked about the Oilers being a sneaky hot team last year, and I don't know if Cody CC came up in that discussion. He absolutely should have.
I was oddly
very
the
handsome.
one that was not esteeming Oilers' looks as much as the other folks.
I feel like
Maybe
it was really
because I
just
was
Leon.
in win now mode. What's that?
You were
Sean
locked on
thinks,
Leon.
Evander Kane is like the most
hottest player in
handsome
hockey.
guy in the league.
Yeah.
Very handsome. We've also talked about Leon Draisaitl, how hot he is.
I've caught up to you on Leon.
Yeah.
He is so fucking hot.
I've been pumping that take for a while. He's so hot. And then the other chat says, when Cody CC going to be on the pod? A little peek behind the curtain. We've asked, and the answer was not no. So
Cody CC we shouldn't. I like that move. We shouldn't be in the practice of tipping our hand, but in this case, I kind of think we should.
Yeah,
because
agreed.
It should be happening so soon. So when I said Sharks content soon, that's what I was talking about. Cody CC is probably going to be on soon.
yes. Also, do want to point out, I think that the Sharks might be the Washington Capitals of the West.
Love that.
Bunch of fucking wild people on that team. A lot of cast-offs. Even if you want to consider Askarov a cast-off, I don't know if it necessarily fits.
Kastarov.
But he sort of was Kastaroved.
Yeah, he was. And I know I've seen
By his own doing, but like you go down this roster, you've got a bunch of exciting young players, obviously, with Celebrini. You've got Eklund. You've got Askarov. You've got Will Smith.
Got Sabres legend Justin Bailey.
Sure. Like Philip Zadina was once exciting. Then you've got like guys like Mikkel Granlund, Barclay Goodrow, Cody CC.
I forgot about the Barclay Goodrow
Yeah.
thing.
I completely forgot
Ty Dellandrea.
that Ty Toffoli was on this.
Tyler
team.
Toffoli.
Yeah.
I completely forgot he was on there. And one of the Smith brothers.
Like
Giovanni.
Jake Wallman, Mark Edward Vlasic.
I forget,
What
dude.
a
That is
random
so
team.
great job on
Alex
doing that.
Wenberg.
They are absolutely Capitals West. It's so
Yes.
easy to look at them and look at all the young players, but similarly, you could look at the Capitals and just say their identity is Alexander Ovechkin. But then you look at the other shit, and it's a fucking scene. That's such a good call. The Sharks are the Capitals of the West. Maybe that's why we like them so much. Yeah, Sharks content coming soon. How about, you mentioned Jake Wallman. Our friends in Detroit are up to their old tricks.
Yeah.
Because they have put out their giveaways for the upcoming season. And last year, you remember, they had some cool gravy boats. They had didn't they have a Jake Wallman
gritty
bobble
gritty
pelvis
that
thing?
a lot of people made jokes saying that it looked like he was jerking off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Well, you know why?
No.
Looked like he was jerking off.
Oh, yeah.
It's a weird toy for them to make, but they're not going to give up. They're still making more of them.
They're still gooning.
Yeah, they're gooning. Sean, if you want to throw down some of the ones that they have, they've got some bobbleheads. You got Patrick Kane there. You got Mickey Redmond. There's who's in the middle there? Is that Dylan Larkin? I think
That's
I see
the
his-
D-boss.
Yeah, you can't spell Larkin incorrectly without a C. So they got bobbleheads, but they've also got, and I lost it here, but they've got a Zamboni gravy boat,
Yeah.
a trapper hat, which is sick. The trapper hat is very sick.
The gravy boat still,
That's a staple.
They're running it back, but they absolutely should. That thing is incredible.
This one looks nicer than wasn't last year's plastic. Like this looks like a
Yeah.
real
This looks ceramic.
Like this looks like a coffee mug.
That looks unbelievable.
I
I would
agree.
drink coffee out of that.
Yo, let's drink coffee out of the gravy boats.
We should ask them to send us 3 of those, and then do live episodes trying to drink coffee out of that and just spill all over us.
I mean,
there's no way you can drink coffee out of that.
We could
without-
also just kind of like jack the idea where we could make. Has anyone made a mug that is like a Zamboni?
I mean, it looks like they kind of just did.
It's a good
That's
idea.
a gravy boat, Sean.
We could do it.
We could do it, and that
with
could
the
be
flaming dog.
Yes,
the
yes, exactly.
Zam
That could be
dog.
part of our aesthetic.
We should just try and get a bunch of these and then repaint them.
Paint over
and
them.
market them as
Miles.
coffee.
Yeah,
mugs.
yes. Get our guys Sir Collect a lot
Yeah.
to dress them up.
Yes,
This is a good idea.
Such a good idea. Hell yeah.
Literally stealing content.
Red Wings, send us some gravy boats. We want to try something.
Another part of the giveaway, though, I like that trapper hat.
The trapper hat is so good.
It's got big PJ's energy.
It reminds me of what was that? Grumpy Old Men.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're wearing it on the cover. Either
Yes.
Mathau or
Mathau, yeah.
is it Mathau or
Yeah.
Lemon?
Walter Mathau fucking crushed.
Of course.
Love that guy.
That guy was a good grumpy old man. Also, shout out him as Mr. Wilson in
Yep.
Dennis the Menace. They're giving away a Chris Osgood stick case. What is that?
It's a great question.
Does anybody know?
Who's asking for this?
Yeah, who? And the Democrats want this. What? Seriously, they're also doing a Steve Yzerman stick case. They're doing a bunch of stick cases. A Pavel Datsyuk stick case.
You're a goalie.
What is it? Can anybody in the chat tell us? I don't know, but that's Chris Osgood picture is sick.
Is it just a case? Like, does it have a stick in it?
I don't know. Like the only thing that I'm guessing it's got to be like a mini replica, but like
They're doing a
It's just
bad
a-
job selling this.
It's
or
also like-
advertising it.
a replica of a stick.
And
Like
it-
the stick is not what. Who gives a shit about?
But
the
if it's
stick?
like a mini stick, like a mini goalie stick, and it comes in a case,
yeah,
pretty
that's
sick.
true. It's got some kind of. I would rather a mini Chris Osgood goalie mask.
I would, yeah. I mean, anything that's Chris Osgood stuff, but the way they
I'll be
present
honest
it,
though, like a mini Chris Osgood goalie mask would not really go because it's just like a generic goalie mask.
Yeah,
no,
but it's
he
not.
famously did not have a generic goalie.
He has
mask.
the cage
He wore like the
He has, like, the
one that had
Dominic
like the
Hasek
hockey, like the normal hockey helmet.
with a mask on it.
With the-
look at the picture right here.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's
it's
not
like
like-
a generic one.
No,
but it's not like a regular goalie mask. Like, it
No,
doesn't have
It's like,
that.
But
So it's like distinct. He was like the last guy to really wear that.
Tim
Yeah.
Thomas wore one of those.
did he?
Tim
Yeah,
Thomas.
Tim
you said?
Thomas did wear one of those.
I like his first couple years.
No, like Tim Thomas, like in his later Bruins years, wore one of those.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
I think you're
because I know what his mask was painted like.
I'm pretty sure Tim Thomas in his later like Bruins years.
So to Tim Thomas, 2012.
Oh, he did with the Panthers. I see a picture with him doing that here.
Oh yeah, but yeah. So this is the mask that I remember him wearing, and it was like a regular goalie mask. Yeah, Osgood wore the.
Okay, so it's not the
not
same
the
type.
same,
It
but
has
it's
like the
also
same
not-
structure.
It's got more of like a.
The Osgood mask is like a regular skater's helmet. It's not the exact same thing, but it's like a
Yeah.
regular skater's helmet, and then the cage is what makes
Yeah.
it different. It's big and
Okay.
fat and goes around.
Yeah, I just meant like there was like not like a
There's nothing
Osgood
design on it. Yeah.
to it.
But if you put it on like a little pedestal thing, you're like Chris.
Yeah.
Osgood.
Did we end up getting what the case meant?
Emily says she just found it on Twitter.
What does what is it? Just found it on Twitter. Anyway, answer that, and as you answer that, I will get to another thing that is going on in the hockey world, which is for some reason this week, center ice logos are the hottest thing in the streets. Everywhere that I look for hockey information, Reddit, Twitter, those are the only two places I look for hockey information. It's things being posted about, hey, check out this team's new center ice logo, or asking questions about, hey, how do we feel about this team's center ice logo? I had never thought about center ice logos ever in my life, and now all we talk about in the hockey world is the center ice logo. You had the Panthers center ice logo being shown because, like the Vegas Golden Knights last year, it has some Stanley Cup imagery. There were questions about, hey, what do we think about the Canucks center ice logo? Is this cool? Because they got the logo there for some reason. You got a Red Wings person saying Kamala Harris said she will bring back the Hockey Town center ice logo if she's elected president. What is going on? Who's asking for this?
That Kamala thing's not real, right?
Pete's having a tough couple of weeks. Was last week the Doug Armstrong one?
Yeah.
I mean, but I this one's not
allocations
real.
back on. That was already no, but I'm just saying, like, the hockey conversation is all shit about center ice logos. If you ask me what is the Bruin center ice logo, I would not be able to. I would say I think it's the spoked B.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know though.
We got a Senators one too.
Yeah, the Senators want to see that. Right, so they're like, what do we think of that? That's what I would fucking guess it is. Am I missing something?
This one and the Canucks one are like overprinted. So like obviously you could see the what's it called? The Senators logo here. Like it is the regular logo, but it doesn't have the little tails on it.
Tail, yeah.
And like it's just like
they're
larger than the circle. Yeah,
oversizing it. It's like those decals on some football helmets where they just like maximize the size.
And then like the Canucks one is kind of the same, but they have a weird circle thing behind it.
I will say, for whatever reason, that Canucks one suits that arena so well.
Are there rules about them having to stay within the circle?
So
gotta be.
That's what I'm guessing because no one's ever done it otherwise.
Does the Wild use a circle?
So I don't think you have to use a circle, but I think that you have to keep it within these boundaries of the center ice circle.
Because like you look at like NFL or basketball, like especially college basketball, like they'll have ones that span damn near the whole court.
Yeah, no, you can't do that shit.
And now here I go. I'm having a conversation about center ice logos.
I think you should be able to. I think you should be able to do more cool shit with the ice. As long as you can see.
Let's not get too crazy.
I mean, I'm not asking for like blue
I don't like
rings.
turning on college basketball games and being like my eyes hurt.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want like Oregon's basketball court is the worst thing I've ever seen. But I wouldn't mind if you had like an oversized, like it reached to the blue line or something like that. Like I'm not asking for blue rings. I don't want like the rings
where it is. I'll say this to your point. I don't really think about center ice logos too much, but when there is a good one, I do notice. And I think it does. I think it's a feather in the cap of a team to have a cool center ice logo. It's like the same thing in the NFL when a team has an awesome end zone design. You're like, huh.
Or
I don't ever think about that shit, but when you have it and it rocks, good for you.
When the Browns went to the Elf, that was the coolest shit ever.
So cool.
Agreed, 100%.
So I remember Vegas last year having a really good one because they had the gold, like they had like a gold circle with a design inside it.
Yeah.
And so like that was very cool. I remember I really do like the ones that have like the circle outline with a solid color. Like the Rangers had that last year, and I can't say it takes a lot for me to admit a good thing that James Dolan has done with one of his buildings. But that was cool. Other than that, like not too many jumped off the page at me.
I would argue that's the only thing that James Dolan is good at is having sick buildings.
That's true.
He's got like the arena and the coolest concert/draft venue of all time.
Although you see, the Sphere took a bath this last year.
Oh yeah, he's been hemorrhaging money.
Yeah, that's a cool. That's like.
But also, if you're a billionaire and you could have a cool
best case scenario, awesome venue for us to go to while James Dolan loses money.
We found out what the stick is. The stick case.
Yes,
it's just like a box, and there's a stick inside.
Yeah, it's essentially.
I'll take it.
It's not great, but like
if they send me one, I'll try to drink coffee out of it.
We should grade all giveaways by the ability to drink coffee. Because people say like the Stanley Cup is the best trophy in sports because you can drink out of it.
Yeah.
We should grade all giveaways by the ability to drink out of it.
The Blue Jackets.
10 out of 10.
The Blue Jackets nesting dolls. That's like 5 cups. That's 5 coffee
Who is
mugs.
the biggest one? Is the biggest one Marchenko?
I think so.
I think you do espresso out of that one.
I would honestly say too. I don't think this was a giveaway item, but I think you could drink coffee out of the Stinger hat.
Thank you, darling. I think So Marchenko is. Oh, this one's so tough.
It basically comes with like a shot glass too. You could do it. Yeah, you have like one to drink espresso out of, one to drink like an actual coffee out of.
This one, I feel like Marchenko. I could almost like squeeze a flat white into there.
Yeah.
And Maybe like Voronkov. I'm doing
espresso shots.
I'm doing a little espresso. Yeah, could be a lot of fun. Breaking news: the New England Patriots have decided their starting quarterback for Week 1.
Drake May?
And Gerard Mayo is not telling. I'll just say this on Gerard Mayo. I understand that you're not supposed to believe in somebody who hasn't done anything yet. I still feel nationally and even locally, there's like, put a little more fucking respect on Gerard Mayo's name.
Who's disrespecting Gerard Mayo?
Yeah.
I'm just sensing a little not enough respect.
Is it just like a lack of people talking about him?
I know. I think like Patriots fans are like, oh my God, we're so fucked. Our roster sucks. We got a coach who doesn't know what he's doing. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. The roster does suck. And it's going to be bad for a little while. But why are we assuming that Gerard Mayo, who has only been awesome at everything he's done in his life, is not going to be able to figure this out?
You know what I am forced to do?
What?
Make assumptions.
Yeah.
Sean is very good at being forced to make assumptions.
When the Patriots,
people are very good at forcing me to make assumptions.
When the Patriots drafted Mac Jones, that training camp was like a competition between Mac Jones and Cam Newton. Patriots fans had to watch Cam Newton, like dead Cam Newton, for a year, and they were just like, please fucking God, can this Mac Jones guy be able to play? And one of my friends was like, why does it seem like Patriots fans are rooting against Cam Newton? I was like, you know what the fuck you're doing? He sucks.
I was going to say,
a different situation.
Sean, are you going to be forced to make assumptions if they name Drake May over Jacoby Brissett?
Isn't Jacoby Brissett hurt?
I will.
He's hurt, yeah.
Yeah, so not...
It'll be a joking assumption.
Really,
like,
yeah.
But I feel
I'll
like
make
there's not enough
assumptions
respect
'cause
being put on Jacoby Brissett. I bet you think Jacoby Brissett sucks.
No, not necessarily. I think he's a Ryan Fitzpatrick level.
I think he's a bad starting quarterback, which,
and a
listen
really
to those
good
words,
backup.
he's a start. Like, he can be a starting quarterback.
Yes.
The Patriots haven't seen a starting quarterback in like 2.5 years. This is already so much better than you've had.
He's the perfect quarterback to have when you have a rookie that you want to start week 1, but you know you kind of can't. So Jacoby Brissett will come in there, suck after a few weeks, and they're like, oh, got to turn to Drake May now. That's like what the Bills do with Josh Allen.
Did you see what Jared Stidham said after losing the Broncos job?
I did.
He was like, I'm very disappointed. I know that I'm a starting quarterback in this league. And I was like, brother, you've never been a starting quarterback
Meanwhile,
in this league.
Zach Wilson was just like, I'm happy for the kid. I'm gonna do everything to help this team move along and all that stuff. Like, was super humble, great leader about it. And I'm just like,
Jared Stidham, the career backup quarterback, should be used to that shit by now and have that answer ready to go. And Zach Wilson, who is the top of the draft, like high draft pick, who flamed out and is like still super young, seemingly had like the veteran answer.
Yeah.
Tough look for Jared
I'm all
Stidham.
in. Zach Wilson kind of has a Trevor Zegras thing for me, where I'm just like, you really annoyed me at first, but now it seems like he's going through a redemption arc, and now I'm rooting for him. Not over.
What part of that was Trevor Zegras?
Well, the second
He's
part
not
where
there yet.
No, he's not as far on the journey, but like I want him to redeem himself if he can go on a redemption arc.
Can he Daniel Paye it and say like, I'm a first round pick, I'm going to have a career though? It'll be tough because he's only tools, so he doesn't seem like a good it doesn't seem like he can be the fine, steady backup because he's never going to be steady. All he is tools.
Also, shout out Daniel Paye for getting mentioned twice in this podcast.
I know.
Buffalo Sabres,
Yes,
brother.
sir.
I got
Sabres
you.
legend.
I will always root for like the bust of a team that I dislike to work out somewhere else.
Yes.
So if Zach Wilson
Yes.
works out and turns out to be an
yeah.
awesome quarterback, it's going to drive Jets fans crazy, and I will love every
Especially
second
if Aaron Rodgers is just a complete, like he's completely washed, which I don't necessarily think he is, but
You know who I'm low key not like rooting for, but
Don't say
you
it.
know it. Yeah, I am.
Aaron
McCorkle?
Rodgers.
No.
Oh, okay.
McCorkle down
Mac
in
Joe. I've been quote tweeting all of his preseason stats with like the bullseye emoji, flame emoji, this emoji, like the
only reason I'm not
I don't have a reason to dislike Mac Jones, but that has never stopped me from disliking Mac Jones. Disliked him at Bama. He had some of the worst years of my professional football career watching in New England. I can't root for that guy.
the only reason I can't root for McCorkle is
don't like his
because Well, yeah, but he seemed like he's kind of cool now. And again, to what you were
Teammates
saying,
like him.
I hate the Patriots. So if he ended up being awesome, that would be good. The only thing is that I'm not rooting on Trevor Lawrence's downfall. I want him to be good. So,
Fair.
And I feel like people are kind of waiting for.
Yeah.
I feel like like Trevor Lawrence has been written off, and I'm like,
Is Trevor Lawrence on the hot seat?
Trevor Lawrence has had a very weird path because he showed up as a freshman in college and
Throw his rookie year in the trash because
Yeah,
that
I
was
agree, 100%.
fucking a joke.
Urban
what
Meyer is
Jags did to
one of
him.
the biggest jokes of all time.
I was so mad. I was ready. Pete and I were actually practicing becoming Jaguars fans.
Yeah.
Remember this?
Yep.
And then they were like, they're going to get Trevor Lawrence. Oh my God, please don't fuck. And I was like, yeah, I can't, I'm not going to be a fan of this team.
I have never been more right about something than I was about Urban Meyer being one of the worst NFL. Like before it happened, when he got hired, I was just like, this is going to be awful. And then he started kicking kickers.
Yeah, Urban Meyer just
And
not
groping
only.
people.
I don't want to say he's a bad coach because he's probably a good coach. He's a bad human being.
No, he's not a good coach. He's one of the arguably the greatest recruiter in the history of college football, and that's it.
Nick Saban?
And he's got Florida has like the best. That one class that he got in Florida was like one of the greatest college football classes of all time. Nick Saban is great too. He's a much better football coach than Urban Meyer. But thing about college football or about professional football is you don't recruit people. So that skill doesn't really translate. And if that's all you got, you're going to be a bad NFL
You know what
coach.
I was thinking about? Our bio on one of the social medias is like mostly hockey, ... And that's what we were thinking. That's like an easy thing to just throw up there while we figure out what this show is about. And I thought, like, I saw it the other day and I was like, we talk so much. Like, we only talk hockey. We'll do a couple other things here and there. During this conversation, I was like, we actually just talk a lot of other sports. Like, we talked so much WNBA. We talked so much college basketball last year. Now we're getting into NFL.
College football is going to be. I'm going to watch so much college football.
Saturdays are for the boys.
I'm
That's
such
right.
the
That's what
weekend.
some people
The
have
weekend.
said.
I'm such an NFL guy. Like I'm.
Yeah.
Really?
I-
I feel like the older I get, the less I get into the NFL and the more I get into college
That's
football.
really cool.
I am. See, the problem is that I was a Texas fan for most of my life, and Texas was the only thing they ever did was disappoint me. Syracuse football is Syracuse football, but they might be good this year, so I'm in on them. It's just like I've always lived in ACC country for the most part, which is just like who gives a living shit about ACC football?
Get ready to learn SEC, buddy.
Yeah, I'm in the SEC, Big 12. It's very weird because like ASU is now going to the Big 12 just as Texas leaves. I would have loved to live in a world where ASU and Texas were playing each other, but
Not as weird as the Pac-2.
can we just?
What is going on?
Can we like who
Who's
asked for
asking
this?
for this?
Yeah, like can we just kill that already? Just put them in the Mountain West and be over with
The
it.
Pac-12 used to have 12 teams. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Now the Big 10 has 74. Got to change those names. Just
Yeah,
call
I
it the
know.
Big Conference.
Yeah.
We've got a third super
I was
chat
going
from
to
the
say,
Love of Your
Love
Life.
of Your Life sent finally a super chat that I'm not going to read.
Oh, I didn't. I can't see it. From
I don't even know what it
There's-
means.
I saw a word that,
Yeah.
like what's, I don't know what that means.
I don't know what any of the. I don't know the last three words. I just don't know what that.
I love you, Love of Your Life. We're all going to,
Ooh, Katie O'Keefe is a Colorado State fan.
I like Colorado State because they're not Colorado. Fuck the Buffs.
I don't know. I have no opinion on the Buffs.
Well, they're
and
now
Coach
they're
Brian.
an ASU rival, and I was really
coming
a
for-
very
Oh, that's right.
vocal critic of.
Well, now
of
RK
Dion.
from All City. By the way, wearing all this Texas stuff. Shout out to DLLS. All City expanding into Dallas this week, announcing their latest regional network in Dallas. They're going to do Longhorn stuff. I'm very excited about that.
We'll
but if
have
you're a
Stars
Dallas
coverage.
Stars fan, great DLLS podcast for the Stars. We are big fans of that because during the playoffs last year, we spent a lot of time.
Struggled a little bit.
We struggled a little bit looking for people to talk to about the Stars. So the fact that now exists in-house with All City is very exciting. So if you're a Stars fan, you've got a new show, a new podcast to add to your rotation, the Dallas Stars podcast, the DLLS Stars podcast through All City. Sean Shapiro's on it, friend of the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
We met him in Vegas when we talked to Cam Robinson before the draft.
I want to give a shout out by the way to The 2024 Mass General Cancer Center Eversource 5K run. Friend of the podcast, Craig Morgan's godson, Henry Gustafson, just finished up a full year of chemo that cost him his senior year of Middlebury. He's a pitcher there, and he will be participating. Huge fan of the Bruins, huge fan of the Red Sox. So shout out to Craig and his family. That sounded very, as I was reading it, I was like, I forgot to mention this, and I sound like, who is the DJ that did shout out his family?
Avicii?
No,
it wasn't Avicii.
He's dead.
Oh, yeah. I guess. I didn't know. When did he die?
Martin something? The George Floyd guy?
Yeah.
I forget who that was.
Anyway, shout out Henry.
The George Floyd guy is tough.
Young man, Boston Red Sox fan, which not a great time to be. They're kind of falling out of it now.
We got the worst pitcher
Boston
in baseball.
Bruins, I'm high on the Boston Bruins this year. So
I'm high on Craig Morgan.
Sign a goalie, but what's that?
So I'm high on Craig Morgan.
They've got a goalie. They got Jonas Corposalo.
Blech. Actually, no, we'll see.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Don't do that.
I'm gonna give him.
He's been one of the worst goaltenders in the NHL.
Do factor.
Statistically for the past year or two. Bounce back Corpy.
Do factor. We're very excited. Pete, tell these folks what to do. It was David Guetta.
David Guetta. That's right. Martin Guetta.
Yeah.
I nailed it.
I said a dead person, so better than me.
Yeah, I was closer. My guy's alive. Shout out to the like spike, which you do right now. You hit that thumbs up button right below the video player. Please hit that thumbs up. Drive up our YouTube numbers. Also, as we started the show, we were 50 subscribers away from 8,000 on YouTube. So if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please do that. Get us closer to 8,000. We like round numbers. We're trying to hit 8,500 before the start of the season. That's the goal that DJ threw out there this week. So if you are not subscribed to the YouTube, please do that. We will love you forever.
Yes, please do it. We love you so much. And we've got big things planned for the rest of the summer, but those daily episodes are coming fast. And we're very excited for that to happen. You could tell by kind of the energy of some of these shows, maybe even there being even a little bit of news in hockey is giving us that kind of oomph. The dog days are coming to an end, and the everydays will be coming very soon. For now, we love you, and we will talk to you next week. Thanks to Sean Monahan. Toodles.
We all silly like the mayor.